Okay, similar triangles, 14.5. Some instructions for you before you go ahead and do this assignment. Similar triangles are same shape triangles, but not necessarily the same size. Congruent triangles would be the same size and same shape, but similar triangles will have the same shape, but not the same size. Two things that you need to remember with similar triangles: the angles of the two triangles, these two would be similar. The angles are congruent. Now, that doesn't mean every single angle is the same as the other angles. It means the corresponding angles. So if you look at these two triangles, B corresponds with E. It's the same part of the triangle as it is on this bigger one. So we could say those two are congruent. If we write a little arc on each of them, that means that those two are the same. They're congruent. If we look at A, that's going to be a corresponding angle with D, and that means then that those two are congruent. If we do a double arc to match those up, we don't want to do a single one because then we get mixed up. This is a single, and then the third one with C and F are congruent angles and also correspond. Now, with the lengths of the sides, it's different. The lengths of the corresponding sides are proportional. Okay? Remember when we talked about proportions way at the beginning of the year? This is where it comes into play in solving some of these things. So, in other words, 6 and 9 are proportions. You can make that into a proportion. Okay? They're going to be the same proportion as 6 and 4. Okay? Because this is the corresponding side to this one. And the same proportion as AC and DF, because they'll have the same proportion. Let me explain myself. Let's take this one first. We have AB and DE. Okay, this is the bigger one. This is AB. Oops. I already messed up. Sorry. Where did I get a 9? I did this one. Sorry. 6 over 9. So I did EF. Okay, side EF over the corresponding side BC. Okay, that's hard to differentiate. Okay, which is 6 over 9. If I reduce that, I get 2/3. Okay, well, now let's take a different side. Let's take AB. Okay, this side corresponds with this one over DE. Okay, now I made a mistake, which is a good mistake to make if it only teaches you a lesson. In this one, I had my EF, I had my smaller triangle over my bigger triangle. Now I started here, didn't I? I don't want to do that because my proportion will be off at the end. I want to always start, since I started here with a smaller one, I need to start here as well. Okay, the top is smaller, bottom is the bigger one. So we have DE corresponds to AB, which is DE is 4, AB is 6. And when we reduce, divide both by 2, we get 2/3. Same proportion. Let's try the last side. So again, top one, littler one, DF over AC, which is 8 over 12. And if I reduce, I get 2/3 again. So each of these sides, the corresponding sides, will be the same proportion as the other corresponding sides. So with knowing that, we can do some of the problems in your homework. Let's see if I can slide this. These are two triangles that are also similar. Okay, similar triangles. Remember, that means that the angles will be congruent. That's number one. And that the sides will be proportional. Okay? Same shape, not necessarily the same size. So in this one you have the sides given to you. However, this one is missing. Sometimes they're going to, in your homework, leave a side missing, and you have to figure out what is the length of that side. As long as you have enough information, you can do this easily. Because like we did up here, right? We knew the common proportion for all of them was 2/3. Well, let's see what it is down here. We don't know what A is, but we can solve for it, right? By making a proportion. Watch. If I use XY, which is equal to A, over the corresponding bigger one, RS, which is 9, right? It should equal, because all these are equal to each other, that proportion should equal the portion of, let's choose another side that we know both lengths of. Let's choose this one, okay? The little smaller one on top, smaller one on top. So that should equal 10 over the corresponding side, 15ths. So let's solve that. Let's see if it indeed equals that. Well, 10 times, we can remember how to do this? Cross multiply. Easiest way to do it, to solve for that A. Cross multiply. So we multiply this way, 15A. Multiply this way, 90. Okay? We want to get A by itself to solve for A, so we just get rid of that 15 by dividing by 15. And we can only do that if we do it here. Leaves just A on this side. 90 divided by 15 would be 6. So, therefore, my line here, XY, is equal to 6. Let's go back and check. Let's go back and check that. 6 over 9 would be what? Divide by 3, 2/3. All right? 10/15 is what? Divide by 5, 2/3. Okay? So that makes sense. This would be our answer, or this. Okay? So that's how you solve an unknown side, knowing that the triangles are similar, using the proportions of the sides to solve for what you don't know, using what you did know. Let's try something else. All right. This is some examples that you'll have in your homework. Very simple. Which sides correspond? You just need to make sure you choose the right side. PQ's here. Look at the triangle. Look at what's similar. Know that this one is the corresponding one. And just simply write ST corresponds with that. SU here. Obviously PR is going to be the corresponding side. QR, therefore TU would be the corresponding side. Now, it's harder when they draw in your book. Let's say they draw this one and then they draw this one, this way. So that it is, it's not very good, so that it is not the same layout. It's flipped. It's still a similar triangle, but it's flipped. So now you have to, think about which side is which. They'll make it obvious, more obvious than these, but you need to make sure you get the right angle or the right side to correspond. Which angles correspond? Even easier yet. S to P, Q goes with T, and U goes with R. And then this is the most difficult one, and we already did one of these. So use proportions to find the missing lengths. You would just say, okay, PR, what is the missing length of PR? Well, let's see. This corresponds with that, so I make a proportion. Let's see, I know this one and this one. This one has another unknown. So I'm going to have to use these two, right? I used X, my smaller triangle on top, so I'll use 8, my smaller triangle on top for this one. And now it's just simply solving for X. Again, you cross multiply is the easiest way, I think. Get rid of that 12. X equals 4, right? X equals 4. So over here you would say PR equals 4. Let's check. 4/6 would be 2/3. 8 12ths divided by 4 would also be 2/3. So we're on the right track, aren't we? Okay, and the same thing with TU. You would use, make sure you put whichever one you choose, smaller over larger, do the same thing. So you would just set up 6 over y equals 8 over 12. Or you could use the one you just solved here too, doesn't matter. And then again, just cross multiply and solve. All right, one more thing. A little review so you know how to do these that will come up in your homework. Sometimes they'll give you something like this and say, here's my triangle. Tell me what measure K is, measure of angle K. In order to do that, you need to figure out, you need to remember what the angles of a triangle add up to. You remember what the angles, if I take angle Q and add it to angle C and add that to angle K, what does that equal? If you said 180 degrees, you are correct. So to solve this, I want to see this written out. I want to see that you wrote out 52 degrees plus, now you need to know what this means, right? 90 degrees plus the unknown of K equals 180. Now you can solve this equation simply by just adding up your 142 degrees plus K equals 180 degrees. And in order to get rid of this 142, you need to subtract it because it's being added to your K. But if we do it there, we do it here, and that will leave your K equaling 38 degrees. Which makes sense, doesn't it? 38 plus 52 plus 90 will equal 180. You can go back and check it. So that's how you do those. There are several, maybe, I don't know, half a dozen of those that you need to complete as well. All right, good luck on your homework and email me if you get stuck. Thanks.